Hey everybody, welcome back to Tim Travels. It's Terry, your host. I'm here with my co-driver Connie, and Connie wants to kind of tell us a story. And oh, by the way, so we're here in Troutdale, Oregon, just waiting to make our delivery. Our 90s over in Tualatin, which is I think it's like half an hour from here. We're at the Loves here in Troutdale, right off the 84. Okay, so the floor is yours, Miss Connie.
Well, let's see. What was the day we took off? Friday night, Saturday morning?
Yeah, so it must have been Saturday.
So then you drove that night, and then I got up to drive, and we were in Kansas, and I took over, and I took off. I was going down the road and noticed I only had like 3 hours and some minutes left of driving. So I knew I didn't do something right. So of course I pulled over, got a hold of logs. They told me they didn't want me on the side of the road, so I had to go find someplace safe. So I went and found someplace safe, called back, and then had to wake you up a couple of times.
Yeah.
To get that straightened out. That took about an hour.
Logs was like telling you to wake me up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you had to do something, I had to do something, then you had to do something again, and I had to do something. So basically, I was driving.
I'm gonna have words with them when I get back to Springfield.
So I got that taken care of, and driving. It was nice weather, beautiful, and then I go to do my 30, and I hit the wrong button. I did on duty instead of off duty, so I messed up there. So
and you could do your 30 on duty. It's just dogging your 70-hour clock.
And it didn't give me back any time because it said I had to do it off duty before it gave me time back, is what the little note said. So I was like, well, crap, now I gotta stay here another 30 minutes. Well, in that time, the Reefer is doing something weird, and it sends me a message to check the Reefer. So I checked the Reefer, and it's not at the right temp, and I lowered it at the time we were supposed to do it.
You raised it.
Yeah, I raised it, yes.
Okay, so let's take a quick break. Wait, just wait. Let's take a
okay.
So here's what she's alluding to. So when we picked this load up on our dispatch, it said 20 degrees fresh meat. But then when we got the bills and got the trailer on our back, they said, oh, we want it to be at 5 degrees for 12 hours. And Connie and I both set a timer on our phone for 12 hours to keep it at 5 degrees, and then it would go back to 20 degrees. Mm-hmm. And so when the alarm went off, she was driving, so you went back and set it to 20.
Yeah. Tell set, fresh meat, 20 equal, good go. And then you go, did you set it? Yes, sir, I did.
Yeah. So because we got to make sure the load's the right temperature.
Right. So then, for some reason, it did a defrost, and that scared the hell out of me because I thought, why the hell is it defrosted in the middle of this load? And then, of course, I called dispatch, and because that's what that little thing on the quail comm said, and she goes, well, I see it's one temperature at this time, another temperature at this time. And I go, did I mess something up? It's defrosting. She goes, no, they defrost. That's a normal thing to do. And of course, at this time, it's like, it's just been a shitty day. So
you got scared because it started to defrost.
I was like, because that's a lot of money sitting back there, and I don't want to mess anything up.
Well, we're all a chicken, not money, but yeah,
but
I get
still, that's money. That is money.
Well, so a lot of people don't know this because I'm pushing 60, right? And even as a kid, my mom never defrosted a fridge because we always, had a modern fridge that was frost free. But I do know, like at my grandma's house, I'm going through her like knife drawer or whatever, and I pull this plastic thing out. What's this? It's an ice scraper, right? because they would, you would have to defrost the fridge, right? And so, but just like, modern fridges, these modern reefers are frost free. But in order to be frost free, they have a defrost cycle. And it'll tell you when it's on defrost, unlike the fridge in your kitchen. And so you got scared.
It was just leaking water out, and I was like,
right.
Oh crap!
Right, because what the refrigeration does is refrigeration does not cool things. It removes heat and moisture.
Okay.
And that's think about an air conditioner,
okay.
right? You got a room air conditioner, right?
Yeah.
It's pulling the heat out, and
it leaks water.
And then the moisture runs out. So that's what it's doing. But it's kind of freaky when you're out in the middle of Kansas, and you're like, damn, I'm about to lose this load or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, because the temp went up to 38, and then I had her walk me through the teleset thing again, and then after it done its defrost, it was like went back down to 20, and where it did, and I did everything right. And then when I was pulling out, I heard the reefer kick off, and I was like, if I don't check it, I know I'm going to worry about it. So I set my brakes and walked back there, 20 and 20. It's like, okay, I'm good to go, and we went. And then my next fiasco was fueling.
Okay, so let's talk about. Okay, so you got through that,
yeah.
And when I got up, when I finally drug my ass out of bed, because I was like, she kept saying stuff to me, and I'm just like, leave me alone, because I actually was pretty tired, because on Thursday night I had to go in the tire shop at 1 o'clock in the morning to get my tire repaired. And so I didn't get good sleep Thursday night, and then we got on the road, and I drove first.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I gotta sleep. So anyway, we get through all that, and then so we're getting towards Denver. And so I woke up, and I got in the passenger seat, and I said, hey, let me look and see where we need fuel. So I said, okay, go to this truck stop. And it was the Pilot or Flying J, right? Flying J in Aurora, Colorado. So we pull in, but Connie was still driving, so I give her my fuel card, I give her my Pilot Flying J card, and she said, how much do you want to put in? And I said, fill it up, because the fuel here is only, our base fuel price was only $2.60 a gallon. I'm like, fuel it up, because I know everywhere we go north and west is going to be more. So, so I wasn't really paying attention. I just, reminded her, you got to make sure that, I said, fill up the satellite, meaning the right-hand tank, do the satellite pump, get that full, and then finish off on the driver's side tank. And so,
And we needed DEF, and we needed to fill the...
Yeah, so we did all three. So we did tractor, DEF, and reefer.
Yeah.
So, I go in, I'm not paying much attention. I go in, get a soda, come out, and then I'm just riding, because she's only got like a couple hours left that she can drive. And we're headed up through Fort Collins up towards Laramie. So we get I don't know, 50, 60 miles up the road, and Connie's like, man, we only got like a quarter tank of fuel here. And I'm like, then you didn't fill it all the way up.
No, I didn't.
And she's like, well, the pumps clicked off.
Yeah, they clicked off.
And I said, well, that only means that there was sufficient back pressure on the nozzle to click it off. It doesn't mean that the fuel tanks were filled. So, because if you've never fueled before, if somebody else turning a pump on or a couple other pumps, it changes the pressure in your pump, and it could just trip it, right? It could just, tell the thing to shut off. So I was like, yeah, you didn't fill these tanks up. And so I said, so then we switched, and I'm like, well, I'll just stop. I know the cheapest place in Laramie to get fuel. I'll stop there. So she went back in the sleeper, but I said, I'll wake you up when we get there. That way, if you need to use the head or whatever. So we got there, and I just happened to check my app, my pilot app, and I'm like, yeah, you only put 55 gallons of fuel in here. And so I pumped 73 till the nozzles kicked off, right? But I said to her, I said, you can always get another 6 to 10 gallons once a nozzle kicks off. That's my experience. Because on these Freightliners at Prime, the way they're configured is that the fuel cap, the opening on the fuel tank is not on the top. It's on the side a little bit. So it's, just to get the tanks mostly filled, you pretty much have to be seeing the fuel. So, I know people don't want to spill it. So I said I pumped 73 gallons, right, till it clicked, till the pumps disengaged. And then I put another, but then when I finished, I had put 94 gallons in the truck, right? So that's an extra 21. So then what I did is but here's the thing. The fuel at that second stop where I filled up the tanks was 26 cents a gallon more than the fuel at the Aurora truck stop. So I calculated how much fuel I had to pump to get it full and multiplied that by 0.26, and it came out to 24.44. In other words, Connie, because she didn't fill these tanks up, cost me it cost the truck $24.44. So in a little bit, we're going to go over to this Chinese restaurant, and I am going to eat $24.44 worth of General Tso's chicken, and Connie's paying for it.
Yeah.
And then, because she also lost a bet on the Kansas City Buffalo Bills game when the Bills worked, and we're not going to talk about the Jaguars game, but when the Bills beat the crap out of the Chiefs, like on Monday Night Football a few weeks ago, we had a bet, and she lost that.
Yeah.
So then, as soon as I get done gorging myself on General Tso's chicken, we're going to go down here to the Sherry's diner place, and I'm going to have an omelet and a steak or something. And then I'm going to lay down and sleep it off, and then we're going to, go make this delivery at midnight tonight. So that's our plan. That's our plan.
A lot of lessons learned.
A lot of lessons learned, yeah. So, and then we got this load we're going to pick up. We got 2 stops, Wenatchee and Casco, Washington, and that's going out to Chester, New York. But the load had so much time on it, I asked my fleet manager if it was a solo load, because honestly, it's like 6 days. So I'm like, well, he told us we could drop it in Pittston. So we're probably going to be out to Pittston by about Friday, drop this and get something else. So anyway, that's our story for today. Thanks for sharing all that stuff.
That's all right. And it's okay to cry. As my daughter said, it was okay to cry. Just have a bad day. But it turned out good. And as Terry says, quit dwelling on shit, let it go and move on. And that's
because
a lesson learned too.
Yeah, just, you make a mistake, just move on from it. Just try not to make it again. But here's the other thing I said to Connie. She's like, when I finally did get up, she's like, I've had a really bad day. I had to walk around. I had to, cry.
Yeah.
And I said, did you wreck the truck? Did you hit anybody? She's like, no. I said, well, and then you really haven't had that bad of a day. I said, my priority on, my hierarchy of bad things is getting in a wreck. That's number one bad thing. Probably the second bad thing is like losing the load. What did I say the third bad thing was?
Hitting somebody or a pedestrian, wouldn't it?
I don't know, but those are the top 2. If you don't do either of those, you probably had an okay day. I mean, not filling up your fuel tanks, that's easy to recover from. You just stop at the next truck stop.
Lessons learned.
And and you know what? It is a lesson learned. Yeah. I mean, it sounds easy to say, right?
Because when I drove a school bus, and on the school bus, on the fuel door, it says, do not fill above 90% fuel. And once it clicked off, you were done.
Yeah.
That you were done. You didn't keep going.
But
You
they
were done.
probably only had the one pump, and
Yeah, we had just had a 100-gallon tank, and if they didn't have a 100-gallon tank, you just had a 60-gallon tank, and that was it.
yeah, and so it is, you know, I mean, knowing how to fuel a truck properly
Yeah.
is, you know, I mean, it's not, it isn't rocket science, but it's also, you know, it's not necessarily obvious.
There's tricks.
Right.
Tricks to the
There's
trade.
there's little things that you need to know, and so you know, it was kind of like my bust because I thought maybe I had already taught you that you know, don't just pull it out once it clicks. So yeah, I mean, it's a good, it just happens, so it's all good. It's, if you can recover from it, it's just, you know, it's like money in the bank, right?
Yeah.
It's like you got,
it's food in your tummy.
it's knowledge. I'm not gonna make you buy me General
I am
Tso's
gonna
chicken.
Buy
I don't.
you dinner. I told you I would, so I will.
No,
No, my word. I
No, I will not make you buy me General Tso's chicken. I'm gonna make you buy me Kung Pao chicken.
Okay.
No, I'm just joking. All right. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back on the road here this evening, and we'll catch back up with you. Bye.